What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the freaking channel. So today I got a 2018 Civic Si Coupe I'm gonna be putting on air. So let's get to this video.
We fly, no lie, it's Nick Bowling. Bowling!
So like we're literally just sitting in a parking lot. Carter, Josh, what are we doing?
Dave was freaking sick.
It's been a whole vibe. So I totally just said screw it. Here's the car. Got some nice little mods to it. As you can see, PRL. You know what I'm saying? Nice and neat. Car's dirty, whatever. Amen. Amen. So we're gonna do a nice little setup. It's a 2018 Civic Si Coupe. And we're gonna be putting some AIRTKK struts on it. Polished tank, 3P from Airlift. So let's get started. So the first thing I like to do is take everything out of the trunk. So this trunk was untouched. So I took everything out of there. This is where the management and the harness and stuff is gonna sit with the relays. I'm gonna mount everything down here, and then I'm gonna put the tank and compressors up top. Essentially, it's gonna sit something like this. I may take the plate off the top, flip that around, so the harness and air lines are facing that way, and then I'll have the compressor one on each side. It's just a clean install. And like I said, you'll still be able to open this up. Oh, boom. Now I have everything down here. Oh, now here's my trunk. So first things first, go ahead and start laying stuff out. We got the front struts, obviously from AIRTKK. Got those built from them. They got it to us pretty quick. We're going to be putting 3P management on it. So there's the harness for that. Already have the manifold in the car just when we laid it out. And then, yeah, now get this should be the second compressor harness. Boom, right here. Go ahead and put that out there. We'll lay everything out and see what everything looks like when it's coming with. Okay, we got both the compressors. Go ahead and get those out. Let those out. Obviously you gotta have the filters, more hardware. Move that out the way. So got the struts out. I'm gonna be putting the harness and stuff in here in the showroom. Obviously AC, why not? So I'm gonna go ahead and do the trunk, wire the car up and everything like that. So all I gotta do after this is take it to the shop and put the struts and stuff on. So another thing I like to do is find out when I'm doing the car is find out which side the battery's on. In this case, the battery's on the driver's side. So I'll start removing like the panel and stuff beside the seat. Most time I'll pull the seat out. Whole lot easier. So I can move the panels right here on right there where the door trim is. Take that out, remove the seat, and then start moving the plastics in the back so I can run everything from the back to the front. So this will run to the manifold in the rear, all the way to the battery. Plus the same thing I do for the second compressor harness. Most of the time I'll zip tie these together and run it the same exact way. That plastic is pretty much right here. So take this off, take this off. Most of the time I'll pull the back seat down. Depends on what kind of car it is too. So this is a coupe. So maybe I can lay the seat down and kind of finesse through the plastics, send it up through here, and then it'll come in through the firewall and I can put it straight to the battery itself. The thing to me, probably one of the hardest parts, in my opinion, is doing like the trunk setup, tossing the harness in and running it through the car. Doing the struts, to me, that's fairly simple. Alignment can get kind of crazy, depends on what setup you're on, but this, to me, hardest part because it's tedious. So first things first, start taking these plastics out and seeing how we're gonna run the harness. Got the plastic piece off the side, got the seat out. For this plastic piece to come out, you got to take the 14mm seat belt bolt out of the side right here, allowing the plastic piece to come out. And then don't forget, when you pull the seat, don't just start yanking it out because you got to unplug this from the bottom of the seat for the SRS. I believe it's SRS and like the seat belt light and all that other stuff. So got that out, now it made a lot more room. Now I'm going to grab the harness right here, and then I'm going to grab the second compressor harness. I'm going to zip tie them together and then put it in here and see how I want to lay it out. All right, got the main harness laid out. Got the second compressor harness. I'm gonna go ahead and lay that out. I'm gonna end up zip tying them together, so it's mad easy to put them in. I mean, they're gonna be running to the same spot anyways. This is gonna go to the manifold, which is gonna be in the rear. This is if you have height sensors, and then this is for the second compressor. So one end goes to the battery on both sides, and then the other side goes to the compressor and the manifold, and this will go to the second compressor. And it plugs in right there to the other plug, which should be somewhere in the fashion of right there. So, boom. Let's get this stuff zip tied together and toss it in the car. All right, so once you get everything zip tied together, it should look something like this. Super nice and neat. Obviously, you got to leave this wire out for the controller, and then this one, you have to go to the fuse box. I'll leave that out, and then both of these got to go through the firewall and up to the battery. So nice and neat. Now we can put it in the car and kind of see which way I want to run it. Harnesses ran. Got this little plastic piece out, ran that underneath the seats. It's already going through the plastic up here. So next I'm gonna run everything probably under here, come under here. Then I'm going to secure this one here and this one here right beside it. So they'll both be side by side. So everything's nice and neat. So if anything ever needs to get to, you have to get to it at all, it's all right here. All right, got those nice and neat, those are secure. Now I can tuck the harness. Well, not really tuck. So obviously one's gotta go to the passenger side compressor and then the driver's side compressor. And then this will go to the manifold. I left everything kind of loose to where I can still get to everything, and then I can run this up to the manifold itself, which will be up top on the board, which is going to essentially be something like this. All right, now that I got all the plastics back in, I still need to put that signal wire to the fuse box, but I ran the harnesses through a factory spot in the engine bay where my main harness comes through, which worked out perfect. So now I can put the signal wire to the fuse box, throw the seat back in, and then be done with the interior all together, and then finish up the trunk. Make sure you don't forget to plug these back up, because the moment you do, every light on the dash is probably gonna light up. Everything with these new cars are just mad anal. So I just said anal. All right, let's get back to this. But like I said, make sure you plug these back in so all the lights on the dash are off. Seats back in, everything's back in. Yeah, I still need to put the signal wire up into the fuse box, but other than that, that's all done and complete. Tomorrow, I can finish putting those harnesses to the battery and then finish the trunk setup. So this is pretty much how it's gonna sit. The airlift management is gonna sit right there. I'm gonna flip that plate so it's facing this way. Both compressors, one on each side. I'm gonna wire those both up. So this whole car should be complete as far as wiring and everything like that by tomorrow. And then all I gotta do now is throw the struts on. And then we can air this thing out. Like I said, peace out. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And we're back. So next up, grab the hardware. I'm gonna pull everything back out of the trunk and go ahead and bolt everything down. So it's gonna be like one quick, easy install. So go ahead and pull everything out of the trunk. Let's go ahead and get everything secured. So this is the hardware and stuff that comes with the kits. I'm pretty sure this is only gonna be for doing mounting the tank to pretty much anything. It comes with the setup, obviously some fittings, and then it has some white lithium tape for thread lock. So we might be needing a little bit something else. So, but first I'm gonna go ahead and pull everything back out where I can go ahead and mount it to this board. So when I put it in and out, I don't have to it move and all this other stuff. So let's go ahead and grab everything back out of the trunk. I have everything laid out pretty much where I want to put it. I went ahead and put the fittings from the compressor to the tank so I can see how much room and stuff we have to play with. So I'll show you. It's gonna sit something like this. I was gonna bring it further out, but I kind of like it to where it's like nice and like symmetrical in a way. So I want to bring this down, maybe. I don't know. I like it like this. I like a simple trunk. I don't like nothing too overboard. To me, this just, it fits. It looks really good. So I might leave it like this. Go ahead and bolt everything down. Put the manifold down here how I want to do it. And then go ahead and secure everything. To be honest, I like this a whole lot better. Instead of having them straight, them both at an angle. Obviously, I don't really think it's even. I just kind of threw it in here to kind of see what it look like. But I like it like this a whole lot better. Obviously, I think this one needs to come back some. But you get the idea. I think this looks dope. And it's kind of, just change it up a little bit. So I think I'm going to go this route. All right, next up, I got to plug in the compressors. So compressor, and then ground to ground. So dope. We're close, almost done wiring it, and then I can finish doing the 4 terminals for the battery, and then we should be done electrical wise. All right, Everything is complete. It's still a mess. I still need to clean up, and then I'm going to route that harness nice and neat right here and secure it with a zip tie. So I like these. For some reason, this is like the best thing ever invented. Boom. Let me see if it'll focus. Zip tie, and then you can put like a self-tapping screw through it and secure it to pretty much whatever. And I like to use these under the car too sometimes for like the airlines and all that other stuff. But these are awesome, very handy, and I like using them. So if you want them, Home Depot, Lowe's, they got you on deck. So instead of putting the manifold up here and it being like big and bulky, it's a nice and simple setup. So what I might do is mount it right there, which is the factory thing that goes down under here, and it has like the compressor stuff. You get a flat tire. Well, that fit right in here, and I might run the airlines through here just to be different, and the main harness. So it's out of the way completely, and all you have is just something simple, slight. So you pop the trunk, it's like, ooh, nice, simple, and clean, which is perfect. All right, so I trimmed it, and I'm gonna clean it up, but I trimmed that so everything will fit. But when you put it inside the trunk, this is all you'll see from the top, besides like the hardware and stuff. But when you open it up, you'll see nothing but like the Airlift Performance manifold chilling like that. Close it down, boom, you see nothing but compressor and tank. Dope, like it, it's different, sick. Realistically, all I have left to do is to put this back in where the spare tire like mount thing would be up underneath this board, run the harness of this, and then all I gotta do is plug up 4 of those wires that go to the battery. So the 2 grounds and the 2 powers. After do that, the electrical portion is pretty much done. And then tomorrow I will plumb the car for the airlines, throw the struts on, and go drive it and see how this thing looks. So hopefully by tomorrow, this thing is laid out and looking dope. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock this out, and then we'll move from there. Almost forgot. So I got to run the signal wire. So I may run this to like the radio fuse or accessory. So anytime the radio's on or accessories on, like the first click when you turn your key on, the management will come on and go ahead and start doing what it's got to do. So obviously you need to go with a inline fuse, and the inline fuse will be able to, instead of it like shoving the wire behind the fuse, this will plug up, you plug this in, and it's got the fuses and stuff that you can put into it. So if it's a 10, 15, it don't matter. Boom, you got you. This is a good way to do it, and it works. It works really well. Inline fuse is done. Now we can move to under the hood. Now I can wire up the powers to both and ground to both. Hear that? Do you hear that? That's the sound of the compressors on, both of them. So, like I said, we up and live, baby. Like I said, I have everything wired. Well, I have this wire to accessory in the fuse box. So as soon as you cut on the key, like one turn or push to start, one button, boom, it should come on. And then when you cut it off, it should shut off. Perfect. Like a charm. So basically, the only thing I got to do now is to just look at it. Perfect. So only thing I got to do now is to clean everything up. Tomorrow, I'm going to toss in the struts, plumb it, run the airlines, everything like I need to. And then hopefully we'll be able to see what this thing looks like laid out. So appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the morning. Day three, last day. So we're about to get it in. Welcome to the channel, AP.
I just got off work.
We both just got off work, so let's get into this install. All right, first things first, get the wheel off. We already did that. Second thing, boom, gotta get the sway bar link off. It's a 14 here, 14 here. You gotta do a socket on this one and then a wrench on this one. So let's knock that out real quick. Easy peasy. Now, grab the wrench, grab the 14 off the bottom one. Got the end link out the way. Next up, gotta unplug this harness from that sensor. There's a 12 mil right here that's holding this brake line to the strut itself. So once you take that out and this sensor, everything should kind of come out. And then you got a 17 right there, and then 3 17s right there you gotta take off. Then you'll be able to bring this down, allowing this strut to come out of the bottom of the spindle. And then you grab the bolts right up top. This should come out, and then reinstall the AIRTKK strut. Taking all the bolts out, that 17, the ball joints, and breaking all that loose, you should be able to tap right here, and it start to slide out. Struts out. After you get those bolts off the top with your 14s, 17 on the side, lower ball joints out, you have to push down on the control arm. Other than that, it comes right out. Now it's time to put the bag in. All right, struts back in, everything's secured. We got the brake line back in. lower ball joints in. All we gotta do left, toss on the sway bar end link, then we can hop to the rear, go ahead and put that on, and then all we have left is to plumb the car with the airlines and go from there. All right, the rear is kind of different. So take the sway bar end link off right here, which should be a 12, and then put something under here to secure this, because if you just start snagging bolts off, boom, this is gonna pop down and something crazy is gonna happen, maybe lose a tooth. So put some under here after taking the sway bar end link off, put the 17 wrench right here, back that out, take this out, and which will allow the control arm to sway open. When you sway open, put the bag up here and then tighten it up and go back together with it. So I was correct. Lower sway bar end link bolt was a 12 millimeter. Boom, take that out. Now we need to put something under here, so when you either take the control arm bolt out or the shock, it won't sway down and drop and knock your face out. So let's get something to secure this and then take these bolts out. Yo, boy, you better cut that out. Hey, take care of my light work. Oh, hell no. My boy's swinging. Oh, you gonna learn today. Tell your friends about me. Rest in peace, sis. Back to reality. With the factory shock in the rear, you gotta take the top hat off and move it to the AIRTKK shock. So that is a 17. Most likely, when you go to zip this off, this is gonna turn, so you're gonna have to use an Allen or put this in a vise, which is what I'm about to do. So take this off, put it on there, toss it back in. Just like that, transfer the top hat from the factory shot, put it on here. Now it's time to put it in. All right, for those who wanna be lazy and not take the fender liner out, take the fender liner out. Just being honest. It's a pain in the butt. It's hard to get to. And like I said, just take the fender liner out.
Just take it out, folks.
Just take it out.
But we almost there. Getting that strut in now. Still
Shot
gotta put the bag in.
Well,
Man,
we there. Closer and closer. This thing has kind of been a pain in the butt. If you haven't bagged one of these yet, go ahead, learn your lesson. It's a pain in the butt. Nothing wants to go back in there like it's supposed to. Whatever. Honda, you're good and all. AIRTKK, you're dope. Screw your threads though. Now that we got everything done, we just double checked everything. The hardware, every nut and bolt. Shocks are in, zip tied the factory harness that went to the sensor on the bottom of shock of whatever that did. So that's out of the way. Everything's tight. Now all we gotta do is run the airlines from the rear to the manifold inside the trunk, and then from the front bags to the rear to the manifold, and then see what it looks like. So let's get the plumbing the car. Hopefully we get it done pretty soon. Right now it's like 11:30 on a Wednesday. Man, we doing it, bro.
Yeah. Fresh off work, baby. Trying to get this stuff did.
Every day, every day. His is coming soon, so stay woke. Let's finish this job. We put a stock wheel on the back, and it was like as soon as we put the wheel on, it was like tucking almost the rim. So obviously everything needed to be adjusted, but I didn't think it was gonna be that bad. So the shock itself was already bottomed out. So as soon as we put the wheel on and put the shock on, that's probably why it was a pain in the butt. The bag was almost like all the way compressed with like no PSI. So we had to raise it up. So now we're raising the shock up in the back. While he's doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and start running the airlines from the front to the back underneath these plastics, and go ahead and start running it to the manifold, so I can we start knocking everything out pretty quick. How you guys doing today? All right, whole car's plumbed. We got the wheels back on the car. Compressors are on. Let's see if it builds pressure, and let's just hope there's no leaks. God, this thing looks so freaking good. Obviously the car needs a bath, but other than that, this thing was a pain in the butt. And this is pretty much adjusting the shock pretty much almost all the way up, but it looks sick. Super, super, super dope. All it needs now is some wheels. It's got some big old tires on it because it's factory, but I mean, I think a nice set of wheels will make this thing pop. Ugh. Yes, sir. Legit kicked our butt, but it looks super good, super, super good. Tucking mad hard in the back. Every one of those I've ever seen though, all of them, like they always tuck that hard in the back and the front, just kind of like all right fitment, but on stocks it looks pretty dope. But other than that, overall, car is dope. Lays out hard. Yes, it kicked my butt, but overall it came out tight. I think it looks really good. Super excited how this was. Ugh. Car is officially done. Thank God. The trunk setup's dope. I think this car came out phenomenal, especially on stocks. How it looks dope. The trunk setup, love how simple and clean it was. Nothing crazy and over the top, just nice, simple, clean. I think that goes a long ways. But other than that, this thing is dope. So just thank you guys for tuning in. Really do appreciate you guys checking it out. I have a couple more cars I gotta do as well. A lot more cars I'm gonna be bagging for sure, 100%. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll catch you guys on the next one.